let's start with our first presentation, and that's going to be Mariam Khan, who studied English, and Mariam graduated in 2014. So over to you, Mariam.
Hi everyone. You're obviously all way more organized than I am if you're coming to a event before you do your degree. I didn't, so I'm glad you're taking this route. So thank you, Benjamin. So as he said, my name is Mariam Khan. I'm the editor of a collection of essays called It's Not About the Burqa. I'm an author, I'm a columnist at National Paper. And sort of, I'm just gonna break down a little bit of my career, but before that I'm going to explain my experience at Coventry University, and even now as a postgrad student, because I'm currently studying a postgraduate. I look back on my experience at Coventry and I think how it genuinely made me as the person that I am, and specifically I have quite a nostalgic remembrance of my degree, and I'm sure there was, you know, moments where I thought, oh my god, how am I going to do this assignment? But I had a lot of gratitude. I still do have a lot of gratitude towards my academics and the foundation of knowledge that I acquired from that degree, and the critical skills. So I studied English, an English degree, and so I mean, throughout the course, from first year to third year, our first year was sort of, I guess things have changed since then, but just generally to give you an overview of how I experienced things. The first year was quite structured in terms of, because we were first year students coming in, we sort of got a taste of everything that the faculty offered. So there was, for me back then, there was creative writing, there was linguistics, and there was literature. And then for me, how I remember my degree from first year onwards was I knew that I had sort of a greater affinity towards creative writing and literature because of the modules being offered and the specialists, or the specialisms of the academics there. And so I sort of focused on my academic courses and what I took. I really focused on what I was interested in, because I didn't want to torture myself, and genuinely because I enjoyed the variety of modules being offered. So I focused in on literature and creative writing modules, and really it gave me such a fantastic foundation to do the things that I'm currently doing as a writer, as someone who has been published nationally in the media and, you know, in books. And I think that before my university degree, you know, I obviously have been a lifelong writer, but before then I didn't have the confidence. And I remember sitting in a seminar for creative writing, actually, and we had to sort of share our work, and that's like the dreaded part of growing up. I think you become sort of, you know, you're less willing to share your work because you're so afraid of the feedback, and that's a very, very big key part of growing up, because you're always going to get feedback, whether it's employment or I mean, we always get it with parents, but with, you know, employment or friends or whatever it is. And it really allowed me to openly accept feedback in a way that would then go on to help my career and the careers that I wanted to be in. Because whether you're being an author published by a publishing house, or you're working within the media for an editor, you're going to go back and forth with conversations and edits. So yeah, that's how my degree sort of gave me the foundation in terms of how it moved me on to my career. But I just really want to commend the teaching as well that I had whilst I was there, and to sort of, I think there's a commitment from the academics. I mean, I can only really speak for the academics that I had access to, and I know that they're still at Coventry University, because they turned up at my events when I was doing a book tour. So I did a national book tour for my book, and it was the nicest thing to see some of my academics turn up with students that they'd been teaching, and to know that they'd followed on from what I'd done, and that genuine commitment in their students was it's something that sort of pushed me onwards to know that, you know, those people who sort of helped raise me from this sort of young adult space into the working world, still are sort of cheering for me. So that commitment from the academics it's invaluable. And then sort of what I'm doing now. So as I said, I'm currently studying a postgraduate, not at Coventry. I'm studying in London, and I'm also a columnist at a national paper, and I'm a freelance journalist. I'm also working on 2 books, but my life is a bit mishmash of creative field. And for anyone who wants to go into sort of that creative field, you'll realize quickly enough that, you know, having different tracks and different sort of things that you're doing is so much better for you in terms of skills. But everything that I do, the core of it revolves around the skills that I learned in that degree, and it very much, and how it prepared me. It very much the time that I spent at Coventry has helped me not only through academia and through writing, but also in a way that it gave me a confidence that I didn't have. So it was beyond that academic experience. I was involved in different sort of groups in terms of like the students represent student reps and sort of, you know, just different things. And it was a space where, I don't know if I'm allowed to say, but I did have my frustrations, as any student will, whilst at university, but I always felt like I was listened to, that I was allowed a space to have a voice. And it was in a very grown up way as well. It was a place where I grew up as a person, and that's had impact in me, and I carry with me even until now. And even as I'm doing my postgrad, I still think my BA experience was was the best. So yeah, that's sort of in a nutshell what I do. It's a lot of writing, the creative space. You have to sort of be quite versatile, and I think my degree gave me that, being versatile. And so I was able to do it whilst in the working space as well. And I don't want to ramble on any longer, so I'll stop talking.